big mansion on 50+ acres with gardens in the back that are phenomenal, a big lake, and so you can have picnics back there. The friendships you develop.
It was the exposure to that way of learning that made a huge impact and a difference.
I think I was a different person coming back than when I left. And if you ask me how to define that, it's hard to define, but I definitely think I was a completely different person coming back than when I left.
It's been called the Wroxton Experience, a life-changing adventure at Fairleigh Dickinson University's campus in England. Wroxton is celebrating its 50th anniversary. It's a special recognition of a half-century of exposing students to something extraordinary, which pictures and words can totally convey.
I think it's a remarkable milestone. Fairleigh Dickinson University was the first American university to own and operate a campus in this country, and I think marking the 50th anniversary of the first group of students in the spring of 1965 is quite an achievement.
More than 10,000 students have studied at Wroxton in the past half-century, but the history of the Abbey goes back centuries before FDU's arrival. It began as an Augustinian priory in the 13th century. The honey-colored mansion was built in 1618 by Sir William Pope. It eventually became the home of the North family, including Lord Frederick North, England's Prime Minister during the American Revolution. FDU bought Wroxton College from Oxford University in 1963 and welcomed its first students 2 years later. Wroxton alumni from the 1960s to the present day use the expression life-changing. The experiences are very personal.
Life-changing in a sense of just maturity, and maturity in the way that you get to forge relationships with people that you otherwise would have never met. And specifically the professors there, Dr. Baldwin, just a total different life experience that they had to date, and of course that we had, which I think enabled us to be friends for so long, and we continue to be friends to this day.
A lot of the learning that goes on there is outside the classroom. So especially for young people, undergraduates, it's a great opportunity to really go there and soak in the world. They'll come back changed.
It's a great way to disconnect from the world and just go back in time and learn history and learn literature in a different environment. You know, you're at Stratford-upon-Avon. You're actually there, where everything that you're reading about is happening in front of you.
Located in the rural heart of England in the lovely village of Wroxton, the campus features a peaceful environment and a beautiful countryside of lawns, lakes, gardens, and woodlands. Above all, Wroxton provides a very different learning experience from the United States.
Students, through the tutorial system, look at topics in much more depth than previously they perhaps have done in any of the courses that they've looked at before. And in doing that, they gain more confidence in their ability to analyse material, to understand material, and I think they take that confidence back to the United States.
We have the tutorial system here, which I think enables the students to feel that they're getting a more personalised treatment. There's a more focus upon them as individuals rather than as a group. And as a consequence of that, I think they raise their game a little bit whilst they're here.
The quiet country setting lies within close proximity to leading cultural and entertainment centers that provide an important dimension.
Of course you could study British government and politics in America, but studying it in Britain, being able to visit the Houses of Parliament, you get an extra added crucial dimension to the subject matter that you wouldn't get simply in a classroom in New Jersey or indeed anywhere else in the United States. You can of course study Shakespeare in the United States, but studying it here, going into Stratford-upon-Avon, seeing the plays put on by the Royal Shakespeare Company, meeting with an actor, the director, the set designer to discuss with them the context of the play and so on. Again, it's an extra dimension that you wouldn't get elsewhere.
I really enjoyed going abroad and having class, but in other countries, and having lectures and presentations by people who are working in those fields and practicing what we're reading about. So I appreciated having that kind of one-on-one, and I could actually ask questions of Lord this and Sir that, and I appreciated that extra experience as opposed to just reading.
While the Wroxton experience profoundly affected its many alumni, it also gave them a unique edge when they returned home.
Right now, jobs are so hard to get for students that one of the things the Wroxton experience really does is you get to put it on your resume. So my resume says Fairleigh Dickinson University, BA and MBA in finance, and then right under there is Wroxton College, Oxfordshire, England. I have gotten so many jobs, both junior and senior, because that is on my resume.
In my case, I ended up going to NYU School of the Arts for theater, and I think the liberation that I had experienced at Wroxton in producing and directing the plays helped me tremendously to get into School of the Arts.
The way in which Wroxton is run and the experience that was provided to us, I try to emulate in everything I do professionally. Communication, thoroughness, learning, and of course every day should be filled with fun. Wroxton was fun.
People who have attended Wroxton over the past 5 decades all speak of lasting friendships.
We had a class of 45. It's now more than 45 years later. We still see each other all the time. We've stayed very good friends, and that's sort of an amazing experience. That doesn't happen very easily.
All the staff and the faculty at the college see our student family while they are here as a student family, and we do everything we can as a community to support the students that come to the college.
I still find myself pinching myself as I walk down the drive and see the building. It's a remarkable location. It's a wonderful institution to be part of, but I again would go back to it's the people.
A half-century of transforming lives, a jewel in FDU's crown, a future filled with even greater promise. Wroxton College's past, present, and future are all worth celebrating.